Your zip code determines your threat level. What's about to hit Dallas is completely different from what S hitting Memphis, which is completely different from what S hitting Cincinnati, which is completely different from what S hitting DC. And if you prepare for the wrong type of disaster, you could end up in serious danger. In the next 48 hours, this storm will impact 150 million Americans across 23 states, but the specific threat you face depends entirely on where you live. I'm going to break this down zone by zone, city by city, so you know exactly what S coming to your location and exactly how to prepare for it. The Weather Prediction Center just upgraded this to a high-risk event, which is level 4 out of 4. They only issue that 4% of the time. The last time they did this for winter weather, it resulted in 215 deaths and $4.8 billion in damages. This storm is tracking to be worse because it's lasting longer and covering more area. Model guidance shifted dramatically in the last 18 hours, moving the worst impacts 50 to 80 miles north of original forecasts. That means cities that thought they were safe are now ground zero. Before I dive into the zones, you need to understand the 3-threat model. This isn't a one type of storm. It has 3 disasters happening simultaneously across different regions. Threat 1 is catastrophic ice accumulation. We're talking 1 to 1.5 inches of ice coating everything. That's enough to bring down entire sections of the power grid for weeks. Threat 2 is historic snow accumulation. 15 to 24 inches in some areas with drifts that will make roads impassable for days. Threat 3 is life-threatening cold. -20 to -40 degrees in some locations with wind chills approaching -60. Here S how the zones break down. Zone 1 is the ice catastrophe zone. Zone 2 is the heavy snow paralysis zone. Zone 3 is the extreme cold danger zone. Zone 4 is the mixed precipitation chaos zone. Zone 5 is the secondary ice zone. Some cities are in multiple zones, which makes them especially dangerous. Let me walk through each zone with specific cities, specific threats, and specific preparation steps. Zone 1. The ice catastrophe zone. This is where the worst ice accumulation will occur. We're talking about areas that could see 1 to 1.5 inches of ice coating every surface. The core of this zone runs from northeast Texas through Arkansas into western Tennessee and northern Mississippi. Specific cities in the highest danger include Little Rock, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Texarkana, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Jackson, Tennessee, Tupelo, Mississippi. If you live in Zone 1, this is what you are facing. Freezing rain begins Friday afternoon and continues through Sunday morning. That's 40 to 48 hours of continuous ice accumulation. Your power will likely go out Saturday morning and might not return for 1 to 3 weeks depending on your location. Trees will fall continuously throughout the weekend. Every major road will be impassable. Emergency services will not be able to reach you. Here's your Zone 1 preparation protocol. You need 7 to 10 days of supplies because even after the storm ends, roads will remain closed and stores will be empty. Stock up on water today, 1 gallon per person per day. Get food that requires 0 cooking. If your power goes out, you lose your stove. Get batteries, flashlights, battery-powered radio. Get a carbon monoxide detector if you don't have one. Fill any prescriptions today. Zone 1, critical action. If you can evacuate before Friday noon, do it. Leave town. Go stay with family in another state. This is not an overreaction. Memphis in particular is facing a potential grid collapse. The ice accumulation forecast for Memphis is 1.2 to 1.5 inches. The power infrastructure cannot handle that. Memphis Light, Gas, and Water serves 430,000 customers. Widespread outages lasting 2 to 4 weeks are expected. Little Rock, same situation. Entergy Arkansas has already told customers to prepare for extended outages. They brought in 3,000 additional workers, but even they said this could be worse than 2021. And in 2021, some areas were without power for 3 weeks. This time could be longer because the cold will persist, preventing repair work. Zone 2, the heavy snow paralysis zone. This zone includes most of the Ohio Valley and parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Heavy snow, meaning 12 to 24 inches, will completely shut down these areas. Core cities include Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Morgantown, West Virginia. If you live in Zone 2, here's your threat. Heavy snow begins Friday night and continues through Sunday. Snowfall rates will reach 1 to 2 inches per hour during peak intensity Saturday night. Total accumulations of 15 to 20 inches are likely across most of this zone. Some areas, particularly in the Appalachian Mountains, could see 24 inches or more. Zone 2 preparation is different from Zone 1. You are probably not losing power for weeks. Your power infrastructure is built for winter weather, but you will be completely snowed in for 3 to 5 days. Roads will be impassable. Even if they plow your street, where are you going to go? Every business will be closed. So you need supplies, but your threat is isolation, not long-term power loss. Stock 3 to 5 days of food and water. Make sure you have heating fuel, whether that's natural gas, heating oil, or firewood. Make sure your furnace is working properly. Check your carbon monoxide detectors. Clear space in your garage if you can park your car inside, because you do not want to spend 3 hours digging it out when the storm is over. Zone 2 specific threat. The snow one to melt quickly. High temperatures next week will be in the teens and 20s. That snow is going to sit there for a week or more. Plan accordingly. If you need to travel after the storm, it's not happening Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday if you were lucky. Cincinnati, you were right in the bullseye for this. 16 to 20 inches of snow expected. The city will completely shut down Saturday through Tuesday. Louisville, same thing. 14 to 18 inches. Indianapolis, 12 to 16 inches, with significant drifting because of the wind. Zone 3, the extreme cold danger zone. This zone covers a massive area from Montana to Texas. This is where life-threatening cold will occur. Temperatures of -20 to -40 degrees are forecast. Wind chills could reach -50 to -70 in some areas. Core areas include Bismarck, North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Des Moines, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, Kansas City, Missouri, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Parts of northern Texas. If you live in Zone 3, your primary threat is precipitation. You might get some snow and ice, but the real danger is the cold itself. These are temperatures that can kill you in minutes if you re-exposed. Frostbite occurs in under 5 minutes. Hypothermia can set in within 15 to 20 minutes, even with winter clothing. Zone 3 preparation focuses on heating and backup plans. Make sure your heating system is functioning properly right now. If it fails during -20-degree weather, you have a life-threatening emergency within hours. Have a backup heating source, fireplace, wood stove, kerosene heater, whatever you can safely use. Have carbon monoxide detectors and extra batteries. Protect your pipes starting Thursday night. Let faucets drip. Open cabinet doors. If you have a basement or crawl space, check for drafts and seal them. Burst pipes in this kind of cold are almost guaranteed if you don't take precautions. And repair costs average $15,000 to $30,000 when you factor in water damage. Zone 3 vehicle preparation. Your car can become a death trap in this cold. If you get stranded, you have maybe 20 minutes before the situation becomes critical. Keep your gas tank above half full at all times. Keep emergency supplies in your car. Blankets, food, water, flashlight, first aid kit. If you break down in -30-degree weather and you run out of gas, you could die before help arrives. Bismarck and Fargo, you are already looking at -35 to -40 degrees Friday morning. Actual temperature, not wind chill. Wind chills will be -55 to -65. Do not go outside unless absolutely necessary. Minneapolis, -25 degrees. Wind chills -50. Oklahoma City, you are not used to this. -8 to -11 degrees Monday morning. That's colder than Minneapolis on a normal winter day. Zone 4, the mixed precipitation chaos zone. This is the zone where forecasters have the least confidence because small shifts in temperature make huge differences in precipitation type. This zone includes parts of Kansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, Kentucky, northern Tennessee, and parts of Virginia. Cities include Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, Nashville, Tennessee, Lexington, Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. If you live in Zone 4, you refacing uncertainty, which is almost worse than knowing exactly what's coming. You could get all snow, you could get all ice. You're probably getting a combination that will change hour by hour. This makes preparation harder because you don't know if your threat is week-long power outages from ice or 3-day isolation from snow. Zone 4, preparation strategy. Prepare for the worst-case scenario, which is ice. Get 7 days of supplies. Prepare for power outages, but also prepare for heavy snow by having shovels, ice melt, and knowing you might be stuck at home for several days. Essentially, combine Zone 1 and Zone 2 preparations. Nashville, you are the poster child for Zone 4 uncertainty. Original forecasts had you getting 8 to 12 inches of snow. The new models shifted you into the ice zone. Now you are forecast for 0.5 to 0.8 inches of ice with maybe 2 to 4 inches of snow mixed in. That's a nightmare scenario. You get the power outages from ice plus the road blockage from snow. Nashville Electric Service is preparing for massive outages. They serve 400,000 customers, and they've already said this could be their largest restoration event ever. If you re in Nashville and you can leave town Friday morning, seriously consider it. St. Louis, you are on the northern edge of the mixed zone. You are probably getting mostly snow, 10 to 14 inches, but if the storm tracks 30 miles further south, you could get significant ice mixed in. Kansas City, same situation, 8 to 12 inches of snow likely, but ice is possible if temperatures end up colder than forecast. Zone 5. The secondary ice zone. This is the mid-Atlantic cold air damming zone. When this storm reaches the East Coast Sunday, cold air gets trapped east of the Appalachian Mountains while warmer air tries to push in from the south. This creates a setup for significant ice storms. Core cities include Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, parts of upstate South Carolina. If you live in Zone 5, your impacts Don T start until Sunday, which gives you more preparation time than other zones, but Don T waste it. This is a classic cold air damming ice storm setup, and North Carolina has been devastated by these before. December 2002, parts of North Carolina got 3 inches of ice. 1.5 million people lost power for up to 2 weeks. This storm could rival that. Charlotte is forecast for 0.6 to 1 inch of ice Sunday into Sunday night. Raleigh, similar numbers. Richmond is right on the line between heavy snow and ice. If you are in Zone 5, you have until Saturday to prepare. Use that time. Stock up on everything. Prepare for extended power outages. Duke Energy serves the Carolinas, and they've already mobilized thousands of extra workers. They know what's coming. They've seen this setup before, and they retelling customers to prepare for multi-week outages in the hardest-hit areas. That's not speculation. That's Duke Energy's official guidance. Charlotte specifically, you need to understand your infrastructure vulnerability. Your power grid has significant above-ground components. Ice accumulation over 1/2 inch causes major damage. You are forecast for 1 inch. That's catastrophic. Plan accordingly. Now let me address the overlap zones. Some cities are in multiple threat zones, which makes them especially dangerous. Oklahoma City is in both the extreme cold zone and the ice zone. You are getting negative 11-degree temperatures Monday morning plus ice accumulation Friday through Saturday. That's a compound disaster. If you lose power from ice, you are then sitting in a house with no heat in negative 11-degree weather. Dallas-Fort Worth is similar. Ice on Saturday, extreme cold Sunday and Monday. Tulsa, same thing. Memphis is in the catastrophic ice zone and will also see extreme cold with temperatures in the single digits Sunday and Monday. When you lose power in an ice storm and it's 9 degrees outside, survival becomes the only priority. Across all zones, there are universal preparation steps that everyone needs to take regardless of specific threat. Number 1, fill your vehicle's gas tank today. Keep it above half full through the entire event. Gas stations lose power. Delivery trucks can get through. You need gas in your tank now. Number 2, get cash. Power outages mean credit card readers don't work. ATMs don't work. If you need to buy something during or immediately after the storm, cash is the only option. Get $200 to $300 in small bills. Number 3, charge all devices Friday morning. Phones, tablets, laptops, battery banks. Do full charge cycles. Your phone is your lifeline for information and emergency communication. If power goes out and your phone dies, you are completely isolated. Number 4, know where your warming centers are. Every county in the affected area is opening warming shelters. Find out now where they are and how to get there. If you lose power and your house drops below 40 degrees, you need somewhere to go. Number 5, check on neighbors. Elderly people living alone, people with medical conditions, families with young children. These populations are most vulnerable. A simple check-in could save a life. Number 6, have multiple ways to get weather information. Don't rely only on your phone. Get a battery-powered NOAA weather radio. Tune to local frequencies. Emergency broadcasts will continue even if cell towers go down. Number 7, protect your pipes starting Thursday night. Drip faucets, open cabinets, insulate exposed pipes. The cost of prevention is $20. The cost of burst pipes is $15,000. Do the math. Let me give you the zone-by-zone timeline for when impacts begin, because timing varies dramatically by location. Zone 1, Ice Catastrophe Zone. Impacts begin Friday afternoon between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Zone 2, Heavy Snow Zone. Impacts begin Friday night between 8 p.m. and midnight. Zone 3, Extreme Cold Zone. Impacts begin Thursday night with temperatures dropping Friday morning. Zone 4, Mixed Precipitation Zone. Impacts begin Friday afternoon, but exact timing depends on your specific location. Zone 5, Secondary Ice Zone. Impacts begin Sunday morning between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Here's what you need to understand about the recovery timeline, because it varies dramatically by zone. Zone 1 will have the longest recovery. Power restoration could take 2 to 4 weeks in the hardest hit areas. Roads could remain impassable for a week. Normal life might not return until mid-February. Zone 2, heavy snow areas, will recover faster. Power should remain on for most areas. Roads will be plowed by Wednesday or Thursday next week. You could see relatively normal conditions by the following weekend. Zone 3, extreme cold areas, depends on whether you get ice or just cold. If it's just cold, recovery is quick once temperatures moderate. But if you are in both the ice and extreme cold zones, you are looking at the same prolonged recovery as Zone 1. Zone 4, mixed precipitation areas, recovery depends on what type of precipitation you actually get. If it ends up being mostly snow, recovery is relatively quick. If it's mostly ice, recovery takes weeks. That's the uncertainty you are facing. Zone 5, Secondary Ice Zone, is looking at 1 to 2 week recovery for power. Your impacts start later, but they'll be just as severe as Zone 1 when they hit. The psychological aspect of this varies by Zone 2. If you are in Zone 2 and you just snowed in for a few days with power, it's an inconvenience. If you are in Zone 1 without power for 2 weeks in extreme cold, it's traumatic. People need to understand the mental health impact of extended disaster situations. Anxiety, depression, PTSD symptoms are all common after events like this. Resources by zone. Zone 1, you need to know now where warming centers are located. Memphis has 10 centers opening. Little Rock has 8. Find the one closest to you. Zone 2, you probably don't need warming centers, but you should know where they are just in case. Zone 3, warming centers are critical because of the extreme cold. Even if you have power, if your heating system fails, you need somewhere to go immediately. Medical considerations by zone. Zone 1, if you have medical devices that require power, you need backup plans now. Dialysis patients, oxygen users, anyone with powered medical equipment, you need to coordinate with your providers today. Some hospitals are offering to admit patients preventively. Take them up on it. Zone 2. Medical access will be limited by snow. If you have appointments next week, they will be canceled. Make sure you have enough medication to last 2 weeks. Zone 3. Extreme cold creates medical emergencies. Frostbite, hypothermia, heart attacks from snow shoveling. Know the warning signs. Know when to call 911. Transportation impact by zone varies dramatically. Zone 1, airports shut down Saturday and might not reopen for days. Memphis International, Little Rock National, all closed. Zone 2, Cincinnati, Louisville, Columbus, Indianapolis, all airports closed Saturday through Monday minimum. Zone 3, most airports remain open, but flights are canceled because planes can fly in negative 40-degree weather. Zone 4 depends on precipitation type. Zone 5, airports close Sunday and Monday. If you have travel plans next week, cancel now. Don't wait. Airlines have issued waivers. Rebook for 2 weeks later. You are not flying anywhere between January 24th and January 28th. Supply chain impacts by zone. Zone 1 faces the longest disruption. Grocery stores will be empty and want to get deliveries for a week or more. Gas stations will run out and want to get tanker trucks for days. If you don't stock up by Thursday night, you're going to be eating whatever you can find for a week. Zone 2, supply chains recover faster. Stores might be closed Saturday through Monday, but trucks can get through by Tuesday or Wednesday. Zone 3, deliveries continue in most areas unless you are also in an ice zone. Zone 4 depends on actual conditions. Zone 5, supply disruption starts later but lasts just as long as Zone 1. Economic impact by zone will be staggering. Zone 1 is looking at billions in damages. Power infrastructure, burst pipes, lost business revenue, it adds up fast. Zone 2, economic impact is mostly lost productivity for a few days. Zone 3, heating costs will spike, but physical damage should be limited unless pipes burst. Zone 4 and 5, similar to Zone 1 if ice is the dominant precipitation. Insurance claims by zone. Zone 1, expect your insurance company to be completely overwhelmed. It could take 6 to 8 weeks just to get an adjuster out. Document everything with photos, save receipts, know your policy limits. Zone 2, minimal claims expected. Zone 3, burst pipe claims will surge. Take preventive action now. Political response by zone. The governor of Arkansas has already declared a state of emergency. Tennessee, same thing. Oklahoma, same thing. Kentucky declared an emergency Wednesday. These declarations open up resources and funding. FEMA has pre-positioned supplies in 8 locations. The National Guard is activated in 6 states. This is being treated as a major disaster before it even starts. Here is my final guidance by zone. Zone 1, evacuate if you can. If you can prepare for 2 weeks without power. Zone 2, prepare for 3 to 5 days of isolation. Zone 3, prepare for life-threatening cold. Have backup heat. Zone 4, prepare for worst case, which is ice. Zone 5, you have 48 extra hours to prepare. Use them. I'll be providing zone-specific updates throughout this event. Make sure you resubscribed and have notifications on. This is a historic multi-zone disaster. Your survival depends on understanding which zone you are in and preparing